Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today with something really special. I had a chance to sit down and interview NafNaf 95, aka the project lead for the Capital Wasteland project, or also known as the Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 mod. We get to talk about a ton of information here, so do sit down and enjoy. Also, be sure to check out the link in the description down below to sign up and help out this project, get involved. And now, do enjoy. How far along would you say the implementation of quests has come for this mod?
So, we had pretty much nobody working on quests. We were just focusing on getting the groundwork in, and honestly just learning, really, because this is something I want to get out of the way pretty quickly. If it wasn't for Flen, would probably not be here.
All right, and for those who don't know, Flen is the one who is leading the Cascadia project.
Yep. He taught me a hell of a lot about version control and just workflow in general, and to be fair, I'm still learning and still trying to fix the mistakes of the past, but, you know, nothing I did was unfixable, so, you know, we're definitely making good progress.
Awesome. So that sounds like it was a lot more difficult. Would you be able to go into any type of detail on that? Because I don't know anything about creating quests in...
Yeah, no, sure. So, really with quests, you place things in the world, like you need to add markers and stuff within the world for everything to work properly. So obviously you need to have at least the empty shell of everything done. So, you know, we needed to have at least the shell of the interior, all the right locations in the main capital wasteland. Everything has to be laid out. So the level designers have a hell of a lot to do before you can even consider start laying out quests.
Interesting. I actually did not know that part. That's cool. That is definitely a lot of work, though, because Fallout 3 is not a tiny game, so you need to lay out all of that first, then work on quests.
That's why we've had a really big push, on level design recently, just to allow us to do that, because obviously some of the screenshots we've got coming out, there's, you know, the shots of the GNR sequence, and that whole sequence works perfectly. To try and merge it within the rest of the mod, we're having all sorts of issues.
Right. So that would bring us perfectly into our next question. Would you say this is the most difficult aspect of creating the mod so far, or was there something else that stood out that was a lot more difficult for the team, you know, from start to finish so far?
For me personally, understanding scripting is definitely the hardest part for me. For the team, it was probably it still is trying to make sure we're all organized, we're all working together without, you know, issues, because the more people, like, within version control, let's say two level designers are working next to each other in the main world, and one of them oversteps slightly into the other one's boundaries, whichever one gets merged first is going to overlay the other one. Communication is key, and we've still not mastered it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems, especially your project lead, so that's got to be really tough to manage all these moving parts, make sure everyone's on the same page, and especially you work a job as well, so that's got to be a full plate for sure.
Definitely. I know Flan can agree. It's pretty crazy, and honestly, at this point, it's got to the point where I noticed that when I see all the other level designers like Sick and Xanthir and Hito, they're just throwing out. They're making huge swashes of the wasteland, and I'm just there sitting looking at the creation kit, doing all the boring stuff, you know, making sure it all comes together. And it does make me sad, because I honestly don't get to do what made me start this project. I don't get to do it as much as I'd like to. But,
does that,
you know, I'm making that sacrifice.
I know that might be hard to answer. Does that take away any of the love for it, or you know, is the passion still there? Because I know I can firsthand speak on loving doing something and almost starting to fall out of love with it because you're interacting with the wrong part of it. So have you been having that lately?
That's always something that's in the back of my mind, yes. You know, because I started the project just doing level design, you know, just messing around, seeing what I could do. And now, and the only level design that I've really managed to do recently was laying out the exterior for the Citadel and tweaking some of Fort Independence for the new height map. That's all I've done in the past, like, 2 weeks. Because I've spent, you know, like today and last night, I've spent 4 hours today helping Flen, and he's helping me trying to figure out this issue. And then the night before, me and one of the scripters spent another 5 or 6 hours trying to figure it out. and we're still nowhere further when we started.
Yeah. Yeah, game development, from what I've heard, and I've only tried it one time, it's incredibly hard. I tried modeling, and it was just like, I could not wrap my head around it, pardon the pun. And
Yeah, talking like modeling, 3D modeling, I still do not understand how Junda's one of the guys on here. He is just throwing out assets. Like somebody goes, "Oh, I need this for a scene that I'm working on. Let me just, does anybody have any ideas? Like placeholders." And then Junda's just appears out of nowhere.
that's incredible, man. That's why, like, some people have said to me in the past with, the updates each time, I'm like, I'm almost at times recycling what I say, where I'm like, this is amazing. I don't know how they're doing it. And it's like, sometimes it's all you can say, because this, as someone who's, although it was only twice, as someone who's directly tried to work on game development before, it's incredibly hard. So the people who are good at it and can churn out something like in a snap, they're insanely talented, and they deserve all the credit in the world. So
Yeah. Say if it wasn't for Junda's as well, we'd have basically no custom assets. Like the
yeah,
metro tunnels, the retaining walls, he's made so much stuff, and this is one man. Like if you look at our list on Discord, we're not a huge team,
yes,
and I mean
you're
half the
not.
people that
I
are
can see
under
that right now.
half the people under the partners slot. So obviously you got Juicehead there, you got Gopher people as well, just people that have come in and done a little bit, and then they've had to take time off. So actively, there's only about 10 people working at this at once.
So that would lead perfectly into the next question: is how complete in total would you say this mod is? You have a small team, but you guys seem to get a lot done, and when those monthly updates pop out, we see a lot of new things each time. So it's clear you guys are hammering away at something here.
Yeah, I think we're starting to nail the level design workflow. We've just got all the level designers working with opals, and we've split the map up into 4. So we've all kind of got our sections now, and we're able to just churn through level. Like
Nice.
our height map around 2 or 3 months ago, so that pretty much means we had to wipe the capital Wasteland. Like
Wow.
we lost everything that we had there, so we had to restart it from scratch. We're at Fallout 4 New Vegas. He helped us out with a height map, and yeah, we restarted it from there. So the work that's been shown in these newest screenshots is about not even 3 months, maybe 2 months of work.
See, that's incredible to me. That's incredible, because it's almost as if having to reset in a way has lit a fire under the team. Not that there wasn't one beforehand, but like, you guys are really hammering it out. I'm sitting here thinking, holy crap, only a couple of months and you guys have done all that. Do you have an idea then of when an end goal is? I know that's really hard to put a date on, no matter what. And I wouldn't expect you to do that, but is there like a general year, a point in mind, or are you guys just like, let's just keep hammering away at this, and when we get there, we get there?
So let me start off by saying I'm always under the philosophy of I would rather deliver something that the player can play in a year than release the most perfectly polished mod in existence 3 years later.
Okay.
Is we can always polish after the initial release, like early access games, except that we're not charging a rip-off for it.
Yep. So you're thinking maybe then releasing it a bit earlier than what people would expect? Okay.
I would say yes, because most people seem to assume that this is never coming out.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a pretty common negative side. There's the common positive side, and the common negative side is like, this looks cool. It's a shame it'll never come out.
Yeah, exactly, and that does dampen the spirits quite a bit, but then you realize that half of these people don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. How this started, I'll never forget our first interaction. I made a video of just a couple of screenshots you guys made. I was just really excited about it. And I remember you coming to me saying, like, dude, people think this is an actual project now. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me clear that up. And then you guys ended up making this a project. So it's amazing how this thing is developed, and then the team has expanded. Have you guys gotten a lot of people signing up? Like, when myself and many other YouTubers, we make videos on this mod and we promote that Discord and stuff. Do you get a lot of people trying to volunteer and help out the cause?
I wouldn't say a lot, because, like, this is what there is. This is the team. We don't get that many people applying. I mean, since we've had a massive push on PR in the past month, and even from that, we've only gained about 3 or 4 people.
Wow.
Gained like 2,000 likes on the Facebook page in a few weeks. Like no, 2 weeks has got 2,000 likes, and the website's had a lot more traffic. Everything's had more traffic, yet there's only been about 4 or 5 people apply that have actually got any skill. I mean, there's always the ones that send me an email saying I can do beta test when give, and I'm just like, yeah, wait.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what comes with it, right? You got everyone who's excited for it, but there's so few people, especially around our age bracket, that know actually how to work with these assets and this system, because it's complicated. It certainly is. Is there any idea of when we're going to be seeing the skills and perk system that we've seen in both Cascadia and also recently the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod?
That has been a plan, from the start, because Flenon's team, along with Nyanka, were the ones that developed it. So that was a plan straight away. But as I said, we're more focused on our strongest part, which is level design.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is if you look at the video that Fallout 4 New Vegas released, they've got all the gameplay, it's there, and they're showing off the skills. Awesome. They've got a lot of strong scripters over there. Like, if we had to compare the two teams, their scripting is miles ahead. Scripting,
Okay.
but our level design is miles ahead of theirs. So there's a very strange mix. And recently, I've been trying to work with a few of the leads over there, just so we can help each other out, so we can actually just improve all together as one big modding clump instead of 3 individual teams looking at each other and going, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like over time all of your big mods are almost meshing together, where you guys are feeding off each other's skills. I remember you telling me with the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod, you were like, by the way, that's from the Cascadia team, and also that's going to be implemented into your mod. But it seems like your level designers can also help out in areas where these other mods can need it. And since the Fallout 4 New Vegas team is good at scripting, they can help you guys out where you've kind of seemed to address that might be your weakness.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they have a lot of asset creators as well, so we're going to be trying to lend each other meshes, like, say, the Metro set we're going to be giving out to Cascadia and Fallout 4 New Vegas in repayment for other things, so that we can all come together and have actually, complete mods in a much shorter time.
That is cool. I think that is so awesome that it's almost, in a way, you guys have your own projects, but you're pretty much collaborating. That's incredible to me. And so,
Yeah.
With that said, has this mod brought about a deeper appreciation for Fallout 3 for your team?
If anything, it's just showed its flaws more.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Go into that a little bit. I'm
Because
curious.
we're looking at everything as finite as we can. We're looking to replace every single rock, every single tree, and you notice the issues a lot more.
That makes sense.
Where areas where the terrain just doesn't make sense, where there's been an error that they just never got around to fixing, all this sort of stuff, and then you start questioning, should we fix it?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that next. When do you take it into your hands and make the proper adjustment, or just say this is how the game was and that's what people want?
So that's something that happens every time we start talking. We're like, well, we had a discussion recently about the power armor. As you saw in some of the screenshots of the Following in His Footsteps quest, they're currently wearing T60. That's not the final idea. Them a basic Brotherhood of Steel armor so that they actually survive against the super mutants. But it brings up the whole power armor issues. How Bethesda retconned and just kind of introduced new power armors into Fallout 4. Old ones. So now how do we work around that?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with Bethesda is their issues with lore. So I would personally say, and this is just my 2 cents, and I think I speak for a lot of people, that if you guys were to make the proper lore adjustments that people value with immersion, that there certainly wouldn't be any complaints.
Yeah, but the thing is, what is the proper lore adjustment?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that they've really fucked up the Brotherhood of Steel in many ways.
Yeah, so it's something that's nearly impossible for us to nail down. And something that we talked about when we were talking about the power armor, for instance, was that P-51, there is only one set, apart from Operation Anchorage, and it is the peak of pre-war power armor. 60 can get stuffed. It looks like a horrible, I don't like anything about the armor. It just looks like a really bad example of something new in. You know, they wanted something new. Why? Where does it come from? How about we just base it off a past armor and say, oh,
Yeah, it's almost
it
like
was an
they came up with
improvement.
it.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with the Nuka World, giving away the Nuka World power
Yep.
armor. It's like, why is this there? That doesn't really make too much sense, but you almost have to just intentionally ignore it.
Definitely. And I mean, that's the whole thing. But I believe what we decided on in the end for the power armor is that the Brotherhood would be rocking their T45, but
Okay.
they'll probably be wearing a paint job. So there'll be an East Coast Brotherhood of Steel, Alliance Brotherhood of Steel paint job that they'll be wearing, which will buff the T45 so it's capable of working against the XO2.
Hmm.
And the XO2 is also going to be altered to where it's got less physical resistance but much higher energy resistances. So you'll
Okay.
find the Brotherhood's natural affinity to be using assault rifles near the beginning of the game is going to help them out. But
Interesting.
if they're trying to use laser rifles, they're not going to be doing as well. It's
Have you
just
added
ways of
any other
balancing it out.
additional gameplay enhancements like that, or are those the only two that come to mind when it comes to the power armor? Because that's a very specific case.
Yeah, no, that's exactly a very specific case. We're gonna just see how it goes, to be fair, because until we start getting all the cogs working together and linking it all together, it's very hard to actually tell and find the balancing issues.
Hmm.
Apart from obvious ones like the power armor, it's hard to actually spot these issues before they're even there.
Exactly. Yeah, see, that's the thing is, you're working, that you've mentioned it saying it's brought about a lot of the flaws. You're working so close with Fallout that, you're able to see it where myself and many others, we're all big fans of Fallout where, we'll dabble in and out. We'll choose when to work on Fallout, when to play Fallout. In my case, it's like when to talk about Fallout for a video. Where I remember when I was like knee deep in it, you were starting to see all the flaws. It started to get almost a little ugly in a way. And
Mm,
but a lot of fans are able to step back and just appreciate this as is. So I can see exactly how,
yeah.
this has almost brought about a lot of flaws with it. Um, do you find yourself? I gotta ask, out of personal curiosity, do you find yourself ever playing Fallout in your spare time, or is it because you're always working on it? You're like, I just don't wanna, I don't want to be near Fallout after that.
I mean, I can't play Fallout because, we're working actively on a mod. I can't install mods.
Hmm. Okay. True.
Any
True.
files that Nexus Mod Manager or mod Organizer leaves in my folder could accidentally get picked up by our mod, and then it's just
Oh.
more work.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
anything could be overwriting something. I mean, it just takes one random record edit in an ESP to
Yeah.
screw over the entire thing.
I know some mods out there require for their installation for them to even function. They require a lot of other mods to be installed as well. And is Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 going to have a similar thing, or are you guys thinking this is going to be the base mod itself, and that's all you're going to need to get it to work?
Highly doubtful that it's going to need you to download extra stuff
Okay.
because so far we've been successful with getting permissions. Oh yeah, Fallout 4 script extender is a requirement because of the skills and XDI, as Flen has
Yeah.
just pointed out. So yeah, you'll definitely need F4SE, which rules out console releases. But if you expected this to come to consoles, you need to learn about your platform a bit more.
Oh yeah, there's no chance. I was gonna ask that just to be that guy, but yeah, there's obviously no way this is coming to Xbox One.
Yeah, we do want to try and release some of the smaller objects to the Xbox One.
Okay.
Things like armor packs. Like we have a Raider armor pack in the works now, which Noctium's been working on in the background. So you'll be seeing the return of all the Raider power armors from Fallout 3, including the Iconoclast, which you've showed before.
All right, so that's cool. So some people are gonna get a little bit of Fallout 3 in their
Yeah,
Fallout
exactly.
4.
Like we've already released the XO2 and the Hellfire on there, the Chinese stealth suits on there,
Hmm.
and so is the Ranger. So you're gonna continue to get standalone releases from the Road to Liberty team and its members, including Cypher with his R91. Not sure if that's made it to the Xbox yet, and I
Okay.
hope so anyway. Lots of little stuff like that.
That's awesome. So you guys really have all the grounds covered. I can't imagine how stressful this is to manage all of this.
Yeah.
And especially because I don't want to pry at this one, but you guys pretty much do this for free, right? This is of your own leisure time for the most
Yeah.
part.
Money that any of us, the only money any of us make is through Twitch.
Yeah, and plus I'd say that, you know, afterwards the biggest reward is arguably not only the feeling of accomplishment and success, but, you know, this is a great thing to have on a resume, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, is that what's pushing you guys along? I've always been curious about that. I know money's not the ultimate push for anyone. As someone who's just very passionate about game discussion, that's what always keeps me going. It's obviously the money's a bonus, but, you know, I gotta wonder, like, what keeps you guys going? Is it just complete excitement for this project?
For me personally, it's the fact that the whole reason why this project started is because I thought, well, nobody else is doing it, so I might as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the thought of myself being the guy that's doing this, you know.
That's awesome.
I was playing, you know, playing Oblivion and Skyrim and Fallout 3 and hearing about these big mod projects like TES Renewal, and I was just like, yo, I want to be doing that. You know, I want to learn that much and actually be capable. Yeah, and now I am actually here doing one of the 3 biggest mod projects for Fallout 4.
Yeah, you guys are like a big trifecta: Cascadia, New Vegas, and Fallout 3.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The money doesn't, you know, the money doesn't filter into it, because I've said this from the start that anybody on my team, you know, the money that gets donated to them through Twitch or through anything else, that's their money. You know, the project doesn't take money.
I don't think you guys can, right? Even if it's something you wanted to, I don't think you could just take money.
Yeah, we can't.
For the project.
You know, you can support authors like you can through on the Nexus. You can do it that way, or you can just, you know, give us support on Twitch, give us support on social media, just help us get out there more. That's what it is. That's how we grow. That's how the mod gets finished quicker.
Well, that's one of the biggest strengths of the Fallout community. The word spreads fast. You know, I look at when we worked together and we got some of that the Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 gameplay out on my channel. Within a couple of days, it was already at 100,000, which, you know, I hadn't seen on my channel in a good couple of weeks. So it's like, you know, it spreads like a wildfire. So they are really good at that type of stuff, and I do highly suggest they support you guys in any way, because like I said, you guys are diving into this with just passion. It's all you got right now, and so it's completely admirable and it's awesome.
It's just mentioned as well that the newest teaser trailer that's been released has already been demonetized by YouTube.
Yeah, there you go too. I should have that should have been the first thing to come in my head. Yeah, I took a small break from YouTube and I come back and all my shit's getting demonetized again. I'm like, right, I forgot about this.
Yeah, the old demonetizing issue, yes.
Yeah,
so all quite familiar.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sucks. You guys, when you post something, it's usually a big deal, and you guys get a good amount of viewership coming in. Where having those videos demonetized can be hurtful too.
Yeah, as I say, the videos are just there to try and get across the progress, because I struggle ways of proving to people what we've done, just releasing it, because you release a lot of screenshots of like every angle ever, and people go, "Whoa, it's only a bunch of screenshots. Who cares? They could just be hiding everything. You know, that's showing nothing. You know, that 100 screenshot album of like half across the map. That's apparently nothing." I'm like, well, do you want a video? Some gameplay? Oh, it's so bad. What are you doing?
Yeah,
and
those are the people you just filter out, man. Those are the people you just filter out. They're not much negative.
The one guy in the corner going, I actually quite like this. That's the guy that I like. That's the guy that keeps us going. You know, be that person. Be the one that doesn't just jump on the hate train straight away.
I mean, sometimes you can take that negative energy and use it as a fuel, but
yeah.
You know, because we had talked about this in the past, how, like, you know, there have been issues with feedback, and it's like sometimes you just gotta almost choose to ignore them, pretend they're not there, and all that good stuff.
You are right on that one.
So that was the interview. Once again, I hope you guys did enjoy that. Be sure to fire away with any questions you have in the comments down below. I had a chance to really talk with them afterwards as well, get some more information on the project. I'm sure a lot of the people involved in the project will also be in the comments answering your questions. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Do be sure to check out also that link in the description down below to the website so that you can sign up and help out this project. And also, check out my Patreon as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.